very good evening and welcome to News Tonight live here on UBC TV, Inspiring Uganda. My name is Simon Mugisha, and joining me on the sign language desk is going to be my colleague Elizabeth Nakakoni. We now get straight into the news for the day, and we see that the former Vice President of Zimbabwe, Emmerson Munangagwa, is the country's new president. Now, Munangagwa was inaugurated at a full-to-capacity 60,000-seat National Sports Stadium in the capital Harare, taking over in a bloodless transition that followed military intervention. Now, the 93-year-old former president, Robert Mugabe, who ushered in the process by resignation, did not attend the ceremony.
For the first time in 37 years, Zimbabwe has undergone peaceful change of guard at the helm, with the former Vice President Emmerson Munangagwa taking over the presidency from Robert Mugabe. The 75-year-old Munangagwa took the oath of office Friday midday, administered by the Chief Justice of Zimbabwe, Luke Malaba, amidst cheers and ululation from thousands gathered at National Sports Stadium in the capital, Harare.
I, Emmerson Munangagwa, swear that as President of the Republic of Zimbabwe,
Under 21 gun salute roared in the stadium. Followed by fly past, ushering in the new dawn. Commanders of the armed forces, led by the Army General Constantino Chiwenga, who has been pivotal in leading to the transition process, took oaths of allegiance at the occasion, pledging loyalty to President Munangagwa.
Men and women of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces do hereby solemnly and sincerely swear.
The occasion symbolized togetherness Zimbabweans have held in the period, reflected by the attendance of not only ZANU-PF supporters, but also the opposition leaders, former Prime Minister Morgan Tsvangirai and Joyce Mujuru. President Robert Mugabe did not attend the inauguration. Other high-profile dignitaries from the continent were at the stadium. Presidents of Zambia, Edi Kalungu, Kenneth Kaunda and Rupia Banda, President of Botswana, Ian Kahama, and the President of Mozambique, Philippe Nyusi, attended. Onyango Jackson reporting.
Thank you, Jackson, and kudos to Zimbabwe's new president, His Excellency Emmerson Munangagwa. Now, a power blackout has halted voting for 40 minutes during the FDC presidential election at Nambole Stadium, where voters remained put as they waited for power restoration. Meanwhile, there has been tight competition at the ongoing elections of the FDC party presidents at Nambole between the incumbent General Mugisha Muntu and Patrick Oboy Amuriat, also known as POA. Earlier, candidates made last presentations of their manifestos at the 7th Delegates Conference.
Forum for Democratic Change party delegates across the country have converged to Mandela National Stadium to elect leaders, including President, Treasurer and Labour representative. Before the voting, the 7th Delegates Conference was held for candidates to make their last submissions to their electorates. In attendance were FDC bigwigs and representatives of other opposition political parties. The incumbent, Major General Gregory Mugisha Muntu, is facing off with Patrick Amuriat Oboy, former Kumi County Member of Parliament, Malcolm Dan Masiko, former FDC youth leader and mobilizer, and Moses Byamugisha. However, the race is tight between Muntu and Amuriat. Candidate Malcolm Dan Masiko started off with blaming the party for electing leaders that have made the party stagnant in opposition forever. He said FDC needs leaders like him with a brand new approach to change the party. General Mugisha Muntu, who is seeking his last term as party president, says he wants to brand the party to be a party of mature people. He challenged candidates who talk of solving the alleged intrigue within the party to first understand their causes. Candidate Patrick Oboy Amoriat promises to ensure a self-sustaining party, while candidate Moses Biamugisha wants to empower members.
For the first time in the history of this country, we are going to have a party in the FDC run as a political and a commercial entity. We are going to make money together so that this party is a party that will grow from strength to strength. I mean, a number of young people have been meditating. But those of us who are in political parties, especially the FDC, one of the things that I'm saying to do is that we are going to constructively and actively engage in the affairs of the state.
Voting kicked off at 2 p.m. with delegates calling for peace during the process.
I expect that after the announcing of the results, I expect that we will be more unified, a better run party from today, because you know when you have a renewed leadership, you have enthusiasm, you have a new psyche that you've created in the public.
We know they are all good, but we have one who is super. So I'm expecting everyone to come and believe in that party president.
After candidates selling their last agendas, it is now up to the delegates to make their last decision and select the best candidate to steer the party in the next 5 years. I'm Nafka Farida, reporting in Nambole.
Thank you for that story, Farida. Now, the Civil Division of High Court has dismissed a petition in which the National Organization of Trade Unions was seeking for an interim order to block the ongoing negotiations between striking doctors and government. Now, in the petition, National Organization of Trade Union NOTU alleges that the association has no right to represent the team. However, according to the Deputy Registrar Sarah Langa, court cannot grant their plea since the negotiation process is already underway with some successes registered. The defense team insists that their client has a right to fight for what they call as a constitutional right.
If any further negotiations with government to make sure that Ugandans get the medical services that they need.
Problems are real down there. Patients are dying because we are lacking the tools to support them. Things to do with oxygen and the blood supply, those ones don't read the law books. If they are not there, patients will die. And those are the real issues we are handling, which we need support of the state. Some of the answers are political answers.
Dr. Ekwaru Buku there. Now, physical and sexual violence against children has reached alarming rates in eastern Uganda compared to other regions of the country. A preliminary report by AfriChild on child abuse indicates that in eastern Uganda, 75% of children suffer physical abuse, while 35% suffer sexual abuse. Let's get more in the following report.
Findings of the preliminary report on child abuse in eastern Uganda, to be released by AfriChild early next year, indicate that 75% of children suffer physical abuse, while 35% are sexually abused. The executive director of AfriChild, Joyce Wanichana, said some parents marry when they are not ready to take responsibility.
Previously, parents were prepared to be good parents, to be good mothers and fathers. The uncles did their parts, the aunties did their parts to prepare the parents to be good, responsible people. And that happened early as they were getting married. But now people just marry. They are not prepared for the responsibilities that come with marriage. And when children come in, it's pressure on the family, and they're not prepared to handle these children well. So what they resort to is violence, beating these children, neglecting them, and not providing for their own children.
Parents, guardians, maids and teachers are shown as perpetrators of child abuse in homes and schools. This makes it important for parents to first know the health status of maids.
I think it is important to know the health status of the people who live in our environment. It's a human right to know your health status, maids inclusive, because maids are they become part of the family, and it is good practice to know their HIV status, so that you help this maid to manage their health status better, but more importantly, protect your children.
The Commission of Children's Affairs at the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Mondo Chateka, warns teachers against perpetrating child violence.
We banned corporal punishment in any setting in this country, but some teachers have still gone ahead to administer corporal punishments on the children. We have talked with the Minister of Education, and we have agreed that any child found to have abused a child, he should be listened to, or she should be listened to, but at the end of the day, let's cancel the certificate, her certificate, or his certificate, because we shall not allow this vice to continue.
Samuel Garandi and Joseph Okowu, UBC News.
All right, and with that report, we will take a quick commercial break, but do not touch your dial. We still have more news stories lined up for you. Keep tuned. Welcome back to News Tonight on UBC TV, Inspiring Uganda. Very glad you're with us here. Now, moving on in the news, scientists at the National Crops Resources Research Institute, Namlonge, have found a solution to the survival of indigenous crops posed by genetically modified organisms and hybrid crop varieties. Now, the head of conservation at NACRI, Dr. Grace Nakabonge, says the initiative is to ensure that traditional crop species are saved from extinction and also preserved for future use.
Advances in research have introduced various crop species to cater for increased yield, resistance to pests, diseases, and drought. The recent passing of the Biotechnology and Biosafety Act by Parliament gave scientists leeway to release genetically modified organisms to farmers. All these pose a serious threat to survival of indigenous crops. The National Crop Resources Research Institute, Namlonge, has begun conserving seeds for future use.
Our plan is not just to keep them, but then to make them accessible for use by farmers. If they still need those local varieties, they can find them here. Breeders can use them, other researchers can use them. So we're not just conserving them for just ourselves, but for use.
Some of the crops under conservation include rice, cassava, and bananas. Emphasis is on non-seed propagated crops.
Things that we do not start with seed. So we have put up laboratories so that we can conserve them in a way that is not in seed form, but in a way that we are able to keep them for a long time. We hope that in future we will improve these varieties and be able to send them back to the farmers when they can withstand the changing environment.
This is just one of the initiatives that researchers at NACRI are engaged in to ensure Uganda has sustainable food security. The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Science, Technology and Innovations, David Obong, pledged support with favorable policies and funds.
We are going to review the National Science, Technology and Innovation Policy for Uganda. We are going to come up with a strategic investment plan, and we are already working out on the framework for the innovation plan. Now, to get all those right, you need to get to know who your stakeholders are and what they are doing. And our biggest catchment areas for research is in agriculture, in universities, it's in private sector, even going to communities.
Other notable innovations include the cassava waxing to keep it fresh for long, biodiesel, bioethanol, and GMO confined field trials for maize, cassava, and rice. Samuel Garandi, UBC News.
Now, government of Uganda has injected 18 billion shillings to construct Soroti University. Now, the university will benefit communities of eastern Uganda, and the neighboring countries will also open the university in January next year.
Government is building Soroti University to boost the skills industry and reduce unemployment in the country. While monitoring the implementation of the project in Soroti district, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education and Sports, Alex Kakoza, advised students to apply and take advantage of government initiatives.
As you can see, I think this is good work, and someone can say, we can look at it and say there is value for money.
The government-funded project will offer subjects in science and technology, beginning with 3 courses in computer engineering, nursing and medicine. Soroti University Vice-Chancellor Professor John Robert Ikoja Odong says they will collaborate programs with the outside universities in Spain, Italy and Norway to meet the international standard. Construction started in July 2014, and once completed, this will bring to 9 government-aided universities in the country.
And we are collaborating for programs with outside universities in Spain, in Italy, in Norway, to look at whether our programs will bring a person we want in society. This is because there has been a complaint that our graduates are not fit for the market. We want to avoid those ones.
I'm Nafka Farida and Muganga Henry reporting.
And in another development, government is to increase funding to revamp the Business Technical Vocational Education and Training, BTVET, to address skills development in the country. Now, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education and Sports, Alex Kakoza, says government will recruit more teachers in the next financial year, 2018-2019, to reduce on the tutor-student ratio. Now, the Permanent Secretary was on a familiarization tour to training institutions in Soroti, Dokolo and Lira districts.
Government is promoting business and technical education programs and wants to revamp institutions offering such courses. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education and Sports, Alex Kakoza, says the ministry will recruit more teachers in the next financial year.
We intend again to work with the Ministry of Public Service and the Ministry of Finance, and we hope possibly next year we'll maybe do some recruitment next financial year and then roll it into the other year if we are to cover the gap, because it's very, very big.
The Commissioner Business Technical Vocation and Education Training, Hajat Safina Chisumusene, disclosed that a program is equipping tutors with new skills.
We are planning to look into how many years that they have been serving our institutions and also help them to upgrade up to the diploma level, but also we want to recognize them for the work they have done for our institutions.
The heads of various institutions in Soroti, Dokolo and Lira said they were facing a number of challenges running the institutions.
You see the difference of the Soroti and then Lira, Jinja, Mulago. We produce high-class nurses, right?
And we're very grateful about it. You're giving us support for the students' application. You're supporting the practical real-life training.
Soroti School of Registered Comprehensive Nursing, Uganda College of Commerce, Soroti, Dokolo Technical School, Lira School of Comprehensive Nursing, and Uganda Technical College Lira were among the vocational centers visited by the delegation. Samuel Garandi and Henry Muganga, UBC News.
Now, Ugandans are soon becoming part of biblical history on participating in the handwriting Bible session. Now, the Secretary General, Uganda Bible Society, Simon Peter Muhammad, says the project intends to make Ugandans understand the Bible better, as well as fundraise for the new Bible house construction.
According to scriptures, the way the Bible was written, nobody shall add or remove any content. But today, Ugandans are rewriting the Bible, but of course not changing its content whatsoever, putting it as it was done by the first scrolls writers on manuscripts. The Secretary General of Bible Society of Uganda, Simon Peter Muhama, says that the exercise will enhance learning of the Bible better.
Think of something special, and that special thing was to help the Ugandans understand how the Bible was written. The Bible was written by hand. It was a tedious exercise. Many people had to struggle to script it. And today we give our members, very large audience, the opportunity to rewrite the Bible.
Every individual pays 100,000 shillings to participate in the handwritten Bible. Simon Peter Muhama says that the proceeds will go towards the construction of Bible Society of Uganda.
The thing is that when we have a new Bible house, it will be a commercial house which will bring in money. That money will help us subsidize on Bibles.
The handwritten scrolls were discovered near the Dead Sea, and the first Hebrew Bible was written using the printing press invented by Johann Gutenberg. The handwritten Bible has been completed in many countries like America and Italy.
They collected and they had to remember everything. But today we are just going to use our handwriting and write our favorite lines.
Right now, residents of Pakanyi sub-county have received an agro-processing facility to boost the production of maize flour. Now, the local company deals in produce and helps farmers to access the market as well as improve the value chain. The Deputy Chief Administrative Officer of Masindi, Andrew Ochen, says this is the starting point of value addition.
Here, through support of ADB, we have been able to benefit from an agro-processing facility that has been installed at the sub-county headquarters, and also World Food Program having provided a bulking stock to support this activity that is geared towards adding value to our maize products that have been grown by the community.
But also to add the value chain in terms of providing for agro-processing facilities. Now here in Pakanyi we have this maize mill, which is meant to...
KCL is having a very big dream. Our dream is to become the leading producer of maize in Uganda, so that we can supply both Uganda and even outside Uganda.
Right now, constant stockouts of antiretroviral drugs in Uganda could make government incur financial losses, especially in treating drug-resistant patients. According to Millie Katana, an HIV activist at National Organization of People Living with HIV/AIDS, many clients have succumbed to drug resistance and death. She made the remarks while speaking at the annual general meeting in Kampala.
Under normal circumstances, a person living with HIV/AIDS is supposed to stay on medication right from the first day of diagnosis. However, due to unclear flaws in the Ministry of Health, several HIV/AIDS patients have skipped medication due to drug stockout.
The government needs to get out of its comfort zone and respond to the emerging crisis that is happening. The time for talking is over. We need to invest money where it matters most, and this is in the healthcare of the people of Uganda.
Government is likely to suffer costs of treating drug-resistant patients, which is estimated at 10 times higher than a single patient's dose.
Cost of treating patients who have developed drug resistance is like 10 times the cost of treating those patients who are normally responding to treatment. This is happening not because the patients don't want to take their medication, but because the medicines are not there.
Currently, Uganda registers 28 deaths due to HIV, as compared to the 1 million deaths in the early 2000s, which is commendable. However, due to drug stockouts, Uganda may not fully attain the 90-90-90 ambitious global treatment target that were developed by UNAIDS.
For us to achieve the 90-90 targets as a country, we need to make sure that we enroll and maintain people in treatment, mainly those that are living with HIV and AIDS. If we enroll 90, that 90 should be maintained on treatment. And in that form, we will be in position to suppress the viral load.
A point to note is that Uganda's contribution to the procurement of antiretroviral drugs is only 10%, with the biggest percentage of 90 being a donation from US.
Almost 90% of our treatment resources are from external funding. But we need to have more money committed to treatment so that we pool the domestic funding of 10% in terms of procurement of drugs to a bigger percentage.
Patients with consistency in medication not only have a long lifespan, but also higher chances of 97% of not spreading new infections, as their viral load will have been suppressed.
The target is to make sure that HIV/AIDS is actually eliminated. Uganda as a country would like to see that HIV/AIDS is eliminated by 2030. That is the target. But this cannot be achieved unless you and I come out and participate actively and very strongly.
An HIV patient is supposed to carry at least 2 viral load tests a year, but the number of patients going for the viral load tests is low.
The uptake of the viral services is low. Because we would expect that at least over 90% of clients who are on ART have access to viral load, but we find that we are at around 70%.
Uganda will join the rest of the world to commemorate International World AIDS Day on 1st of December under the theme, Health is my right, demand yours. Susan Naonga and Joseph Okou.
Right, coming up is business news. Keep tuned. Take a look at business news, and we'll start with Black Friday. Early morning today, the downpour and gloom of the skies did not deter determined shoppers from flocking shopping centers to buy the best of discounted prices. Now, the products, which ranged from electronics to beddings to toys to foods to beverages and much more, were on promotional sale to as low as 70% of the original price of the products. And this is the second time the Black Friday phenomenon is being realized in Uganda.
It was Black Friday indeed. Many city dwellers woke up with high shopping spirit. This shopping excitement was, however, affected by the heavy downpour that lasted 4 hours. Despite these heavy rains, determined shoppers were not deterred from flocking various shopping malls to get themselves products that were being sold at abnormal discounted rates. The Black Friday shopping craze is slowly taking Uganda by storm, says Moses Komakech, the sales manager at the Game supermarket.
Walked around the store and you've seen how excited our customers are, and you can see the turn-up is proof enough that the culture is changing. People are getting to know what Black Friday is all about. The prices are, I can tell you the prices, I would say the prices are unbelievable. I would say they're ridiculous. They're ridiculous prices, but yeah, those are good prices that our customers deserve.
Hundreds of shoppers could be seen pulling trolleys containing various products, especially electronics. For many excited shoppers who prepared earlier on for the day, it could not have come at a better time of the year, especially as the festive season draws closer.
It's a good day. I've prepared for it for about 6 months because I knew what I wanted. This is what I've got. I've got some 2 flats, and the prices are really good.
Black Friday is a business strategy celebrated every last Friday of November, where throngs storm shopping malls to get themselves products at abnormal discounts. A tradition that originated from America is now celebrated in many other countries across the globe. Nancy Mbekeka for UBC News.
More in business. In order to address the problem of learners who have been staying hungry at school, schools have started a campaign to create school gardens. However, schools want government to give them loans to acquire agricultural equipment like tractors, irrigation kits, among others, to expand their gardens and also train the learners in good agriculture practices.
Ministry of Education and Sports has started encouraging schools, both public and private, and parents to start growing food to feed pupils when at school. The strategy would enable learners and teachers grow food, end hunger and improve academic performance, although they would need to purchase modern agricultural equipment like tractors and irrigation machines.
Requesting government at least to help these private institutions who have tried this system of carrying out agricultural farms to give tractors on subsidized prices, and at least like we have seen the way how these people irrigate. We use how to irrigate, we use watering cans, it is so rudimentary. So if we can have pumps, pipes, wherever.
Mitiana Modern Senior Secondary School from Mitiana Municipality and St. Mary's Mukoko of Masaka has established school gardens. They grow maize, bananas and yams. They also rear poultry, pig, goats, sheep on 100 acres of land at Namayunju, Ntanda in Mitiana district. They also train students in agriculture. The manager Mitiana Modern Farm, Beatrice Mbalire, urged parents to encourage children during the holiday to participate in agriculture by using what they learnt at school.
They will also have that experience from home. I know most of our students, we get them from upcountry like Movende, Hoima, Rara, wherever they come from. But get their school fees out of maize, beans.
During the tour, students appreciated agriculture.
I know many students of my age believe that agriculture is a punishment, and in fact, many of them refer to it as hell on earth, but to assure the rest of the students, agriculture is like a blessing.
Agriculture as a punishment is that at our school here we benefit in agriculture, whereby this maize you are seeing here, we get many things, like when it grows, we sell some and we get money, and as we get money.
All schools need school gardens, which can help learners and teachers counter hunger, but they will need to use modern technology. Salongo Fred Kasiwante compiled this report.
All right, now finally in business, the regulator of the insurance sector has vowed to crack the whip on fraudulent individuals in a bid to bring sanity to an industry that is grappling with low penetration rates. Meanwhile, a two-day East and Central Africa Social Security Association conference has wrapped up with members pledging to collaborate in order to foster the growth of social security. Let's get more in the following business wrap-up.
The insurance sector regulator has raised concern regarding the increase of insurance crimes in the country.
Some people forge insurance policies and they go and dupe people and they get premiums from them. We have also seen instances where people come to insure but they have stage managed accidents.
In an interaction with stakeholders, Alhaj Kadunabi Lubega, the Chief Executive Officer, Insurance Regulatory Authority, noted with concern the increased levels of corruption in the sector and delays in claim settlement.
The Insurance Anti-Fraud Unit is going to be given the capacity in order to investigate and prosecute anybody who will dare do any insurance fraud.
Government was also on the spotlight for failure to insure its assets and providing health insurance to the public servants.
We want government to insure its key assets and others.
This was at the year-ending Insurance Sector Chief Executive Officer's high-level breakfast meeting in Kampala. In another development, the two-day East and Central Africa Social Security Association regional meeting has ended. The meeting sought to share best practices and set guidelines that will meet the needs of the social security providers and beneficiaries.
3 million Ugandans only with a certain social security. And I'm told at least 15 million should be paying social security.
The ICASA Kampala resolutions were set to guide the regional social security bodies. The managing director, NSSF, Richard Byarugaba, gives an insight into the resolutions.
Two of the resolutions were mostly for government to make sure that there is an increase in coverage of social security for its citizens. Secondly, that there is a floor, a minimum that must be set as social security protection. Thirdly, we also had a resolution to make sure that the schemes themselves within the region cooperate with each other and benchmark against each other.
Delivering social security for all remains the primary focus of ICASA and its members. Dennis Igoa for UBC Business.
Right now in world news, militants have launched a bomb attack and gun attack on a mosque in Egypt's North Sinai province, killing 235 people, according to state media. Now, witnesses say the Al-Rawda Mosque in the town of Bir al-Abed near Al-Arish was targeted during Friday prayers. It is the deadliest attack of its kind since Islamist insurgency in the peninsula was stepped up in 2013. Let's get sporty now. Futsal is slowly becoming a quick-growing sport adopted by people of all ages and categories. Enthusiastic athletes show up to compete in the Futsal Super League at the international courts in Mengo, Kampala. Let's get more in the following report.
The rhythm of the sport is totally different from soccer, with the game being played faster, 5 players aside and substitutes coming in at different intervals. 6 games were played in the Futsal Super League, where Sauna walloped Typhoon 6-3. Teamwork led to Sauna's victory over Typhoon, as Sauna's captain Haruna Rugulobi narrates.
We lost this game not because we are poor players, we are just unlucky, because we have ever beaten this Sauna team twice. This was our third encounter, and luckily they have won. Let's say the best team won. A lot of chances and failed to score as many goals as possible, and they used their chances.
We're glad we got this victory, but we did our homework against Typhoon. You know, we first lost to them last year in our last league game, but we were already champions by then. So our minds were a little bit off because the match wasn't so important to us. Then the Super Cup, we were a little bit disorganized because we had switched up, the league was just starting. And then we did our homework. We developed a game plan strategy, which we stick into, and we imposed our game on them.
Typhoon captain Matov Bashir adds that the poor team coordination led to their down against Sauna. In the other games played, Yap drew with Yep, Riham edged Dream 4-1, KPCG hammered Kaboa United 5-1, while Palakets walloped Park 9-2. Currently, defending champion Sauna hope to retain the title. This report was compiled by Gizamba Helen Barbara.
And now, the second International Law Sports Seminar is underway in Uganda under the auspices of the Uganda Olympic Committee and has attracted participants from across the globe to discuss anti-doping, player transfer guidelines, sports and criminology, as well as conflict of jurisdiction in sports disputes. Now, members of local federations are also part of the participants, with the organizers anticipating to reduce legal issues that are derailing Uganda's sports scene.
Pleasure to be back in Uganda, in Kampala especially. I see some familiar faces, 1 or 2 familiar. I think is very, very important. We had a very, very good seminar last year, and we're trying to build on that this year. We're going to add many ideas, many approaches, and make what we're giving Africa and the world a much better offering. That's the idea. And we're hoping that these few days will be extremely interactive There will be every chance for all of you to participate at various stages, and I hope you will do that, because this should be a forum where there is no division between the floor and the seating. Everyone should have the opportunity to express their view and their understanding and desires for sports law in individual countries in Africa and for the continent.
And finally, in sport, the battle for supremacy has been made manifest in the Azam Uganda Premier League, where Sports Club Villa hosted long-time rivals Express FC at the home ground in Masaka. Just like expected, Villa maintained its winning form, triumphing against Express by 1-0. The surprise of the day, however, was Proline edging out KCCA FC by 2-1 at the Philip Omondi Stadium. Vipers, on the other hand, were a better side against Chirinya Jinja SS with a 2-0 victory. We bring you the highlights of the game between Express and Sports Club Villa in Masaka.
We don't know what could happen, but now Express have a chance to redeem from the corner. Henry Katongole coming to rescue.
Launches back. An Express Football Club are currently looking for something here. Michael Birungi, whoa, hits the woodwork and goes outside for a goal kick, corner kick rather.
Let's care for Sports Club Villa. You can see the movements of Shafik Bisaso. Bisaso will be happy to walk away with the draw, but that goal should have proved a sweet win if at all they should hang on for the last minutes. Look at him flexing. Michael Birungi just pushing ball forward and flexing. Sports Club Villa lucky once again. Second time lucky, first time relying on that to try get back into the game.
Ball up front now, here comes the chance! They score late again! Scored late against Duparaka, and now they score late against Express Football Club. Chitata scores this important goal for Sports Club Villa. It's Villa 1, Express 0, and none other than Alex Chitata scoring late, and Villa become the late scorers team right now in the league.
Well, Chitata picks up the ball in the area and takes the mistake of the keeper to his advantage. Just look at Ronnie once again backing the ball. Ball lands onto the wrong side to the opponent. Look at him, Ronnie Seka, heading the ball backward. He's done that so often. This time Chitata scoring in between the keeper's legs. That is sweetest for Villa, but so humiliating and heartbreaking once again for Express. Conceding late, they did it against Oduparaka, and right now, can they come back? It is a minute to go, but will be crucial points for Sports Club Villa. Godwin Bulle,
Many thanks for watching our news bulletin. Keep tuned to UBC TV, Inspiring Uganda. I am Simon Mugisha, and Elizabeth Nakakoni has been on the sign language desk. Goodbye.